Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching. Today, I want to talk about the concept of time and the fact that you may not be able to see it, but you are actually moving towards something. You might not know what it is, and you might not feel as if anything is moving, but I promise you that things are moving. What I recommend, again, if you're going through a difficult time, is just not to, sit and do nothing, but to try to be proactive in trying to, work on yourself, look back at your life goals, professionally, personally, etc. Um, when we go through a difficult time, it's very difficult to feel as if anything is moving, right? Maybe because we lost something, maybe we lost a job, maybe we are feeling depressed, maybe nothing new is coming into our lives. So maybe, our foundations are really shaken and it feels as if we are really stuck. But the thing is, when we experience pain, everything is moving more slowly than when we are happy and doing different things. The truth is that if you help yourself, if you work on yourself, after some time you might not realize that, but you might actually be moving faster than you think. And I really promise you, one day you will look back and you will feel that everything is so different. You'll be able to sort of connect all the little dots. You didn't know you were heading towards a certain direction, but I'm telling you this from my experience. And it's a really disturbing, actually, to one day wake up and everything is different. Like, not in a bad way, but in a way that you might not expect it to be. Um, if I look back at the last few months, I'm a completely different person, I believe, than who I was last year, for example. And this is the result of so many things I did to help myself. And I want to share something really weird, is that it actually made me really sad because I realized, oh my God, I'm just a very different person from before. And when I thought I was still stuck, in the past, I realized that was yesterday. I realized that, oh my God, I was past all that. And it's a very disturbing feeling. And that's the thing I also want to point out, is that you might not realize, but at some point, if you put the right amount of work on yourself, on your situation, you might really be in a very different mental place from where you were before. You might surprise yourself to have actually moved on from whatever you were going through. And you might not notice it, but I promise you, again, it comes from my own experience. One day you will wake up or something will happen. You will come across something, and that will be the trigger for you to look back and realize that you feel different about yourself, about people, about your emotion. Maybe you're a very different person from before. And so I don't think we are really prepared. People talk about getting better, but there's not really a lot of resources on what happened when you suddenly realize that you feel better. I think it's the moment where it's not like acceptation, but it's like another phase, like a sort of a grieving, right? Because it's a certain period of your life is over, because it's not just over as in the situation, it's also over for yourself. And it's really disturbing. But the point of this video is really to remember that things are moving. And if you go through a difficult time and you work on yourself, like to try to improve yourself, to improve your situation, whatever it is, slowly things are going to be, not making sense, but they are going to take you to a certain place. So sometimes it's the result of your own work, and sometimes it's because you are kind of guided towards something else. The thing is, we might again never know like where we're going, and we might never know that things are being connected, but they are. So what I encourage you to do is to make this effort, make the effort to help yourself. At some point, look back and see all the little things adding on top of each other's. The last few months I felt I was guided towards something, and I knew that this was my sort of a final destination, as in I wanted to reach a certain, mental strength, happiness, or whatever. I knew it was there somewhere, and it was like a wheel turning and like clicking slowly into different steps I was achieving until I hit that point. And I cannot explain really clearly, but it felt like something was going on, and I felt closer and closer to this certain goal that I had. And maybe the last couple of weeks I felt even closer to that. You might, if you dig into yourself, if you go into a very like silent mode, or like a meditation mode, or again whatever works for you, like when you go within yourself, I like to say that, you will be able to sense those changes. It's like it's very slow, but with time you get really closer to something. Use your intuition. I've used my intuition a lot, my faith, and I use different, like a way to step back. Because, for example, if you go for a walk, you are distancing yourself, you are, maybe your body is producing some sort of energy, releasing some sort of like positive chemical or whatever. And at some point, you will be able to sort of have a feeling, like an intuition for where you are heading, what's happening. And I want you to see it as a big wheel that is turning. If you look at this big wheel, I don't know, ferry wheel, I don't remember how we call it. When you go to like entertainment park, or whatever, not Disneyland, but these kind of things, you see this big wheel, right? From far it looks like it's not moving, but actually when you are on it, it's moving, but from far it's hard to see. So maybe sometimes we are so caught into our emotion, we cannot see it moving, as if we were maybe so far from who we are, and disconnected from reality. But yeah, it's slowly moving towards something. I really promise you, you will look back and you will feel so different one day. You will, change doesn't happen in one day. It takes a long time, especially depending on what you were working on. But if you put the right amount of effort, it's like one step in front of each other, right? At some point you will look back and you will feel so different. But I want to warn you really about something, is that there's a sort of a sadness about it, because then you really realize, oh my God, I'm not the person I used to be. Maybe I don't feel the same way about some things. Maybe I've moved on. Maybe it's, a situation is truly over. And personally, that kind of things has really caught me by surprise. When I realized maybe things were over on my side, um, it made me feel so sad. I was maybe like still carrying a part of my past, but the moment I let go, I did not realize. But it came all with time. I was still trying to hang on my past, but somehow all the effort and the mental work I did on myself led me to a very different path without even me wanting it. Of course, because of what happened to me last year, I had to help myself to get better, but I was never expecting to like detach myself from the thing. And it's like being released suddenly into the universe, and breaking free, like cutting something, not because you wanted it, but because you just focused on yourself. By focusing on yourself, putting the right energy, again, those dots will take you to a very different direction that you might not suspect. And trust me, it's worth it. A friend of mine just a few days ago said a quote that is, I didn't tell you it's going to be easy, I told you it's going to be worth it. Something like that. And you might not see it now, but I also promise you that it's worth the pain, it's worth the effort. Working on yourself is going to enable you to take you to a very different place. So trust that you can do it. Not many people can do the work on themselves to change their situation, to change their circumstances. So really, not many people stand back on their feet after being knocked down, after being hit by, and hurt by life. So if you really do it, it's gonna really throw you to a very different place. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit shorter. How do I say that? But actually it's 10 minutes, so it's not shorter. Have a good day wherever you are. Stay calm, focus on yourself, work hard through the pain. You are gonna move to a very new direction. You will be a different person and you will have a different view on what happened to you, what is happening to you professionally, personally, whatever it is. Now, I gotta jump on an online class now. I'll see you later, alligator.